Hello, welcome. In this video, I'm going to talk about the PMP exam. How I studied and how long did I study for. For the 48-hour period into my exam, I rescheduled my exam. When to book your exam. Exam day. I could get acquainted with the actual software or the platform to take your exam on. I wish I could have found something before this. Now, if you are somebody that uses 2 monitors to work, now, when I study, I take a lot of notes. These are my exam study notes. All of these are folder leaves. This is like 1.5 packs of folder leaves of just notes and formulas. I printed out some formulas and wrote notes and stuff. How long I studied for. Now, I did 2 weeks of serious study. I tried to give myself 4 weeks. Now, at the beginning of those 4 weeks, I had a schedule. I didn't follow it. So, and it was mainly because I had competing priorities. You know, I'm a mom, I have a 3-year-old, I have business, I have job, I have all these things. And so to get myself into the study mode when I've been out of school for almost 10 years was definitely a task, right? So that's something that you need to keep in mind, is that if your old brain has been out of school, I'm not calling my brain old, I'm just saying, if your brain has been out of school for several years, you need to get back into the study mode. You have to get back into the school mode, get back into the exam mode, which is something I think you need to factor in your study plan, right? Getting into the groove, getting into the mode. So now the week before my exam is when I really got serious, which is not good. I really got serious, right? Because I struggled to focus a little bit because I'm studying, like, oh no, but I need to go and do this thing, I need to go do that, I need to check this, I need to check that. So the week before exam, I got serious. I only studied. That's all I did. And I didn't have to go to a job or anything. So I had like the whole day, the whole week to study, right? And initially I thought maybe I should go to the library. When you go to the library, you can't go to use the bathroom and leave your things necessarily if you don't want to. You know, if you get hungry, you have to get up and go. So it was wasted time for me to even travel there, travel back. So I decided I'm just going to get serious. I'm going to do it at home. Now, this was the week before my exam, which means that I don't think I had done enough work. So the Friday, my exam was supposed to be on a Sunday. The Friday before my exam, before the 48-hour period into my exam, I rescheduled my exam because I did not feel prepared enough. I was not able to sit through a full mock exam. My brain did not feel like it was ready. It didn't feel like it was able to focus for 4 hours long exam. And I felt like I needed more time. I will do another video on the different things that I had going on around in my life leading up to this exam and study period, but my brain was not ready. So I paid $70 US and I moved my exam a week. So I had another week to study. If you have 2 weeks, you're going to take 2 weeks. If you have 1 week, you're going to take 1 week. If you have 6 weeks, you're going to take 6 weeks, right? So I got more time. Did I use all the time? No. But I passed. So clearly I must have done something right. So I bumped it. I studied more. I went through some more of the questions. This is when I got Andrew Simulator. I got Andrew Simulator in my extended week. Before that, I had study hall and prepcast, which were very discouraging, which made me feel like I was gonna fail the exam. I don't recommend using 2 weeks. I don't recommend using 4 weeks. I recommend using minimum 6 weeks to prepare and actually setting down maybe 3 hours a day, 3 hours a day, 3 hours a day to study. And I say 3 hours because to get through a full exam is about 3 hours plus or minus, right? If you take 60 questions and you just do 60 questions in an hour each time, 3 hours, and plus getting through like even just the agile project management video in Andrew Ramil's course is about 3 hours long total. So I recommend spend like 3 hour blocks each day to give your brain time to get into the groove, study, practice, and then you get serious like the weeks before, 2 3 weeks before. I have formal project management training, and I've been working in the project management environment for the last 8 years. So that is to take that in context with what I have said, that I used 2 weeks to study. I got a bonus week because I extended my exam, and I got the Andrews simulator in the second week, and it gave me the confidence to chariot into that exam feeling okay. When to book your exam. Now, when you apply for the exam, you have 1 year to take the exam. I applied for this exam in June of 2022. And then I said, okay, I'm going to take the exam in 3 months. Then I said, maybe in December, maybe in January. How about March? So in my defense, right, I was working on publishing and authoring 2 books, which I have since published. That's my first book about Canadian immigration, how to move to Canada. And my second book is a self-help personal transformation book on shadow work. So these both books are published and are on Amazon. So I wasn't just not doing the exam, I was busy. I'm a mom, I have a 3-year-old, and all these things, and I had those priorities, and those were more important to me than the PMP certification at the time, because if I had gotten it, I had no intention of like using it immediately necessarily, right? Because I wasn't going to change jobs. I had already just changed my job. I was in a place and I was okay with where I was at, and my PMP certification was not going to help me at that time. So I pushed it and I pushed it and I pushed it. I don't recommend this. However, I did that. And here comes the deadline to take my exam, because you have a year before it expires. So I decided to book the exam given like 2 or 3 weeks before the deadline, just in case the first attempt didn't go well, God forbid, and I would have to retake it. I would want to retake it before the time expires. You get 3 attempts. You get 3 attempts before your year expires. So if you don't pass on the first attempt, you can still take it without having to reapply for the exam. Now, that was never a part of my plan. However, risk assessments, risk analysis, mitigation strategies, take the exam before your deadline, just in case it don't work out. So I would suggest that once you get approved, book your exam. Now, when you get approved, being approved is free. You apply, it's free. However, to take your exam is where the $600 come into play. So never mind all the money that I spent on the simulators and stuff. Your exam is going to be $600, which is about 800 and something Canadian dollars. So just prepare for that. Book your exam. Even if it's 3 months out, book it and work towards it. I wouldn't suggest doing it in 2 weeks. I don't suggest preparing yourself in 2 weeks. I suggest giving yourself time to prepare and feel comfortable. Do exams, mock exams, do some study every single day leading up to the exam. Exam day. When you schedule your exam, you have the option of taking it at home or going to a test center. Now, a lot of people recommend taking it at home because you're in the comfort of your own space. You don't have to commute to a test center. You don't have to worry about traffic. You don't have to worry about much. You just have to be at home, set up your area. Bob's your uncle. So I did that. Chose to do it at home. Set up my computer, set up my space, clear my desk. My desk needed to be cleared off anyway. And I got myself a universal power supply, a UPS, because my computer is a desktop, not a laptop, right? I did that just in case there was a power outage or something weird. I connected my computer and my internet to the UPS so that things would not go badly. 2, they give you all the exam rules and all that. You have to have your ID, clear your desk, no exam materials are in reach, anything of that sort. So the biggest thing I want to tell you about the exam, because I was looking for this stuff before my exam to see if I could get acquainted with the actual software or the platform to take your exam on. I wish I could have found something before this. So that's what the purpose of this is. Because to prepare for the exam and set up for the exam, they're going to give you that instructions, right? You have to test your system, have good internet, all that stuff. It's not open book, so you can't have anything nearby. Nothing on the wall, nothing on the fridge, nothing. I did mine in a living room space. So it's right here in the corner here for the living room in my apartment. I was the only one home, and I had no problems with them telling me I need to go into an enclosed room or anything like that. My living room space was fine. So that's good. That's where my office desk is set up. It's kind of it's an open plan, you know, like living room, dining room, office space. Now, if you are somebody that uses 2 monitors to work, which I do, you cannot have both monitors during your exam. You can only have one. So you have to disconnect one. Now, here's where the biggest dilemma came in for me. I have 2 monitors, a 27-inch and a 24-inch. I thought, okay, I'll have to disconnect one. I'm obviously going to disconnect the smaller one. Duh. Bigger the better, right? No. The Pearson platform, Pearson UVE or something like that, is the platform that hosts the exam. Now, the exam platform itself, I think, could use some updating. A little bit ancient technology looking. I have my monitor is this size, and how it is set up is that the exam question is the only thing that's on the screen and the answers. So my exam question went all the way across my 27-inch monitor and then down to the bottom. So to read a question, I had to literally turn my head because the font is this size and it's stretched across the whole screen. So I struggled a little bit. And I think I even lost time just panicking in my head like, oh my God, I really need my smaller monitor. I don't think the smaller monitor, it would have been slightly different. I probably could have seen it in one view maybe, but a laptop screen is better. To be honest, a laptop screen is probably better based on how the platform is, because everything is in the corners. To move to the next question is down here. To highlight your question is up here. To check your time is up here, and to go to the previous question is here, right? So quite literally, if I just, the edges of the screen, right? So imagine that's my 27-inch monitor, and that's the question all the way across here. My brain was panicking a little bit, and in thinking about it, I'm just like, I'm thinking about it while I'm reading the question, so I've lost time. Let me tell you something. That was the second quickest 4 hours of my life. I swear, it went very quickly. There is no time to think. And I think that caused like a lot of panic and struggle throughout the exam. After the first section, I asked the proctor, can I change my monitor? They're like, no. And I get it. It's fair. I just wish that there was information about ahead of time about the platform. Now, when you test your system, you don't get a practice question. I just never thought that was going to be it. But now you know, like whatever you see in the test, that's it. Choose a small monitor. A laptop would literally be better than a big monitor. So that's my biggest advice to you. When I clicked through the last question, it said congratulations, and I didn't read the rest of it. It said something about 5. I thought it said 5 days. It could have said 5 minutes. Blah, 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 blah. I didn't read it. I said, next. I want to see my exam. I want to see the score. I don't want to read. I just read for 4 hours. Show me the score. It takes me to a survey. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do the survey. I answer the question. It takes me to another page of surveys. I'm like, not another question, guys. I just answered 4 hours worth of questions. Please make me see a result. Once I finished that survey, the whole system closed. It was done. My exam was over and I was out of the exam, and I still hadn't gotten my result. I saw congratulations. I'm like, they're not going to congratulate you if you fail. Or maybe they're just congratulating you on taking the test. Like, what is it? So I panicked a little bit. I tried to get back into the exam. You can't get into the exam. I went into the Pearson website, and through the Pearson website, you can log in using your PMI information, and it will take you to your results. So it's not available on PMP as soon as you finish your exam. It takes about 48 hours, and I did not want to wait 48 hours, right? A lot of things happened to me during this exam, before this exam, but you know what? I made it through. I got 3 above target. which is above target in all domains. So the domains are people, processes, and business environment. So I got 3 above target in all of these, and my overall exam score is above target. So I did something right. I think for the most part, it was probably just in my mind, mental, just feeling a little bit flustered or defeated. So that was my PMP exam experience. To sum it up, I think you should give yourself a minimum 6 weeks to prepare at 3 hours a day. Do mock exams, that's important. I think for simulating real exam conditions, for time management, Andrew has some good videos on time management. There's one video on time management to help you to understand that, okay, you start at 2:30. Once you get to 1:55, you should have completed 60 questions. And then once you get to minute 80, you should have completed the other 60 questions. And then you have 80 minutes to complete the other rest of the questions. So I can probably tag Andrew's video in here because that's helpful for tracking time and how their timer counts down. Give yourself time to study. Give yourself some grace. Sleep is important. Fish oil for brain cognitive function. High fat diets. These are some of the things that I put in place leading up to my exam to help me to focus, to help me with cognitive function. Overall, you know, it was a pretty tough exam, but I wore blue. That's part of the secret, Andrew says. I wore blue top, blue shorts, blue pants to help me to make sure that I passed. And yeah, go get your PMPs. Do it sooner than later. Once you get approved, book your exam and just knock it out of the park and come back and tell me how it goes. Feel free to check out my book on how to move to Canada. The book is from foreign student to Canadian citizen and everything in between. And this book, because my mind needed some help and I had to do my shadow work to get through some tough emotional times while I was preparing for my exam. Because leading up to my exam, there are a lot of big changes going on in my life. Some of them are heavy emotionally, and that's affected my ability to study and study well. So your emotional baggage is important in your day-to-day function. Dealing with that baggage in a healthy way. And this book helps you to figure some of that out and find a way to your true best version of yourself. Check it out. It is on Amazon. Links are in the bio below. You are welcome to stick around, or maybe you're just here for the PMP information, and that's fine. But if you're sticking around, subscribe, hit the like button, drop a comment if you just passed your exam or anything. Tell us so we can celebrate with you, and I will see you in the next video.